What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Did anybody feel the earthquake that just occurred less than 45 minutes ago near Los Angeles and the Barstow, California area? Started out as a 5.1, downgraded to a 4.9 here recently. There's been 3 earthquakes just east of Barstow, California, not far from Los Angeles, where there's also brush fires in the area, large wildfires still in Northern California. There's a lot going on in case you guys hadn't noticed, and I want to touch on some more things that are going on with the increase in solar activity. Looking at the last 7 days of solar flare activity, you can see almost every day there's been at least an M-class solar flare here in the last 12 hours. We saw an X-class solar flare. We've got several inbound CMEs that I want to talk about here in just a minute. A lot of this solar activity could be responsible for the earthquakes that we're seeing, the severe weather that we're seeing. Saw flash flooding yesterday in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. The governor up in Montana declared a disaster area for Missoula, Montana, as they saw 109-mile-an-hour winds. I received video footage from the area sent in by Mary Gunter. This occurred back on the night of 7/24 of 2024. There was a wildfire that was started due to the high winds. 109-mile-an-hour gusts were recorded. You're going to see large trees toppled over on top of houses and into power lines. Very large trees completely uprooted, as you're going to see here in just a moment. Some of these trees, as you can see right there, fell into power lines. They dealt with power outages. Again, the governor declared Missoula a disaster area following winds as strong as a Category 2 hurricane once again in Missoula, Montana. There's a large tree right there completely broken in half laying across the road. That was an intersection. You saw the stop sign right there. Here's another area. You're going to see more down trees, just a lot of widespread damage in the Missoula area. They're still trying to get cleaned up from the very powerful winds. Once again, gusts being recorded as high as 109 miles per hour. And right here you can see a very large lightning bolt that made contact with the ground. And looking at this chart, you can see once again the solar activity has been steadily climbing for the last 7 days. And I think it's got the earth all stirred up regarding earthquakes and wildfires. There was a 4.5 earthquake in southwestern Utah. There's been earthquakes up in the northeastern part of the United States, in Maine, up in the Quebec area, and even an earthquake in northern New Jersey. Here's a look at the Soho Lasco C3. There was recently an X flare here in the last 18 hours that was earth directed following the Cannibal CME. So right now, as I do this video, there are 4 CMEs headed directly towards the Earth that could rival the Great Solar Storm of May 10th of 2024, being considered one of the most intense aurora storms in the last 500 years. What's coming our way could rival that storm. So be prepared here in the next 24 hours for more northern lights that could dip down into the mid-latitudes. The last time we saw one of these amazing storms, and coming up you're going to see the X flare right there, and that could not be more squarely aimed at planet Earth. This is the Earth-facing side of the sun, and that's the most recent solar activity. And coming up you're going to see the CMEs that were produced by those very powerful solar flares. There are 4 headed towards the Earth. The Earth is the green dot right there. Again, there are 4 headed towards the Earth. The first 2 are difficult to see because that involves the Cannibal CME. We're going to take a closer look right here. I'll zoom in and you can count them. Okay, here we go. There's the first 2. This is the Cannibal CME right here where my mouse is at. So there's 2 right there. I'm going to step it forward slowly and you're going to see the Cannibal CME, which is simply 2 CMEs joining forces. So you got 2 CMEs now leading the way, and there are 2 CMEs following the Cannibal CME. So there are 4 CMEs total headed directly towards planet Earth. And that energy from all of those CMEs is supposed to arrive tonight just after midnight Universal Time. So that would be sometime this evening. We could see another aurora outbreak, a global outbreak that could rival the last storm that we just saw. Looking at the most recent solar activity, there's the X flare that occurred less than 24 hours ago, followed by two very strong M flares. This one was almost an X class itself, and there's currently one underway right now as I do this video. So the sun is very active. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, you can see it's just simply loaded with sunspots and active regions that are obviously capable of producing X-class solar flares that were detected almost immediately by the ionosphere that created high-latitude radio blackouts and interference. Looking at the Parker spiral, once again, you can see the collection of CMEs that are earthbound. Once again, the green dot is the Earth, the red dot is stereo A, and the blue dot represents stereo B. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. A little bit of earthquake activity along the northeastern entrance. Pretty quiet all in all across the supervolcano caldera. An absence of data at Old Faithful. And I have an aviation update. We've been following airplane incidents for the last week, and there have been 8 in total in the last 8 days. We can add 2 more to the list. These involved helicopters over in Japan. 3 U.S. military helicopters made an emergency landing on Sunday in Japan. And then there was a helicopter that made an unfortunate crash landing in Japan. Both incidents occurred on the 28th, and this incident unfortunately involved fatalities. So 2 more aviation incidents. Looking at the wildfire situation over here in the Pacific Northwest and Canada, still the skies are just absolutely overwhelmed with wildfire smoke, especially out here in Northern California. Here's a look at some of the wildfire smoke video footage sent in by Cheryl Morrow from Northern California, 7/25 of 2024. This is the Park Fire near Chico, California, and you can see how thick the wildfire smoke is in the Chico, California area. That is an ominous looking sky, brownish orange, very thick wildfire smoke. And it looks very similar over here at Zoom.Earth. A very thick plume of wildfire smoke originating from the Northern California area. And once again, if the skies are clear in your location, be on the lookout for auroras tonight, as we have 4 CMEs headed directly towards the Earth. If they do make contact with the Earth, like the last ones did back in May of 2024, these CMEs could create global auroras that might rival the storm that we saw just a couple of months ago. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.